Hey everybody, in this short video, I'm just going to take the character that we made in the previous few videos, and I'm just going to pose it up now that we have a working rig. A couple of things I want to note before I actually start doing the posing work. First of all, we've done all this work on the character. You will notice when we select the mesh for the character now, that the translates, the rotates, and the scales are all locked. We can no longer play with these values, right? If I try to type in 5, nothing's going to happen. That is because if you were to play around with the translate, the rotates, and scales, you would destroy your rig completely. Additionally, you'll notice we have this input here for skin cluster. I'm not opening it up to mess with it, I'm just opening it up to show you that it's there. If you were to delete the history of your model now after doing all the work rigging it and painting the skin weights, you will notice that that's gone, and you will also notice if I try to start moving some joints around to pose, that my rig is no longer bound to my model. This is another occasion where deleting history is a bad thing. When you have your rig and it is bound to the character and you have it and you're happy with the way it is, do not erase the history, or else the rig and the mesh are going to become two separate objects and it's not going to work properly. You're going to have to do all the work of rigging it all over again. Next thing, I would recommend you make an empty layer, just so that you don't even accidentally select the character. Just so you don't even select the character by accident. The only thing you can control now are the joints and the controls. The controls being these curves, you know, these circles and squares and stuff, and the joints being these actual the actual skeleton of the character. With that safety stuff out of the way, now we can go ahead and pose. So I'm going to go ahead and do a basic jumping pose again, just like I did the last time I did this. You will notice, by the way, as I start moving and posing my character, that unlike the polygon primitive character that we made, there are some limitations in regards to how you can actually move your character around. This is a result of Quick Rig automatically applying IK and FK to certain joints. So joints with IK, or inverse kinematics, are joints that you can translate, like my hips. And joints with FK are joints that you can rotate, like my arms or my head. There are plenty of joints where you can do both IK and FK, so you can translate and move them. So you can translate and rotate them, but then there are going to be some joints like this one where you can't do any movement at all and you can only rotate. So just be aware of that. All right, let's go ahead and post this up. So this has been a tutorial on creating a character foundation, on then adding variation to the character foundation, to then UV unwrapping that character foundation, to texturing that character foundation. I would recommend you probably don't use the 3D Paint tool if you can help it. If you have to, it's functional, but as you can see, it does have some drawbacks in its use. After that, we went over how to rig our models and then how to pose our models. There are 2 extra videos this week regarding additional methods to help you rig up your model, specifically to give you finer control on the rigs for your models, giving you the ability to control fingers and such. Otherwise, this has been a tutorial on how to make a character foundation. I look forward to seeing your own completed characters. Thank you very much for watching. Next week's material will be the basics of animation. Technically, we can use rigs like this for animation if we want to, but we are going to be going over just the bare basics of animation with simple bouncing balls and with a much simpler model with a much simpler rig. Oh, and this was in the previous video, but I do also just want to mention, if you have your character in a pose and you want to get it back to its default state, just open up the Human IK menu and just select the orange icon that is called Stance Pose, and that gets your character right back to T-pose. Okay, that's all I've got. Thank you very much for watching. See you all next time. Bye-bye.